Boots for Bears kicks off our Chicago Bears Now mailbag. Someone watches our watch party every week. Should the Bears bench DeAndre Swift for Kyle Monangai? Well, Ben Johnson said on Monday that the run game issues are not solely on Swift. It's a lot of things. He blamed himself for a lot of it, which I love to hear the coach just, kind of wear that, even if, deep down there's probably some things that are frustrating him with what players are doing on plays, including DeAndre Swift. Here's what I do know. Regardless of how we've gotten here with these numbers, these are not good numbers. And I don't even really care about the volume. I'm more so, 3.3 average. Eric Bieniemy says the goal is 4.5. You're more than a yard behind schedule there. Like, that's not good. Now, I've said it. I think the pass protection has been much better than the run blocking. So do they need to tweak some things, get Dan Rochar and tweak the run blocking schematics, how they're coaching it? I don't know. I think everything's fair to question when you're this poor from your running back production. Kyle Monangai hasn't gotten a lot of opportunities. I do think on his few carries he has gotten, you have seen some flash. Not like he's ripping 35-yarders off, but he does feel a little more decisive between the tackles than Swift does. We know what DeAndre's strengths and weaknesses are. So can I sit here and say, would I just flat out bench him and give Kyle Monangai kind of go 0 to 100? Because let's face it, Monangai's role has been pretty small. Like, it's grown a little the last couple of games, but it's not like he's gone from 0 carries to 4 to 7 to 10. It's kind of gone from 0 to 8 against Detroit, but 7 of those were in garbage time, to 5 and then to 4 against. Like, it's a small role right now. So I don't know if I can sit here and say, oh, you just absolutely make him the full-time starter. Now, if you want to go to a more 50-50 split, sign me up, because regardless of who's to blame for the run game issues, DeAndre Swift, you can't sit here and say he's having a good year. Now, is it as bad as the numbers say? Probably not, but I'm definitely down for an increased role, a notable increase with Kyle Monangai. Who do you guys think should be RB1 based on who you have? DS for DeAndre Swift, Cam for Kyle Monangai. If you want to put Roschon in there, who has 0 carries this year, have at it. I don't think he's an option for the Bears. They've kind of shown us that with their actions. But DS or KM, let us know. All right, JJ Vandeveer. Swift had a breakout game against Washington. Do you think that happens again? Yeah, he got loose on one of those toss crack plays last year against the Commanders. Remember, they hit that against Green Bay as well when he embarrassed Xavier McKinney in the open field. We know Swift is good at that. When he finds space on the perimeter, he can make guys miss. He's pretty good in space. Hopefully, right? Hopefully this is like the big, forget just Swift, just run game breakout game. Can you rush for 130 yards against Washington in that Monday night game? Because, look, let's face it, regardless of the opponent, moving forward, you're going to have some balance offensively. Like, Caleb Williams was the number 1 pick. You want to be able to lean on him, and they already are, but you can't be abysmal running the football and expect to win week in and week out. Like, it's just not a sustainable model for any quarterback, but especially a second-year player in his first year in a new offense. Like, that is asking quite a bit. Kevin, should we trade Jones at the deadline? #Bears. What happens in week 6, 7, and 8 leading up to the deadline? Is he a clear backup? Do the other guys stay healthy? Does Karan get activated from IR and he's at least like an emergency backup option? Because, like, depth comes into play here, because it sounds easy. Oh, Braxton's not our starter anymore. Let's just trade him. Okay, like, I'm not against it, but also you got to feel good about the other guys if someone does go down. So, what's the trade? Is it like the Cam Robinson trade, just like a 7th and a 6th pick swap? Like, I feel like Braxton's worth more than that. Like, I don't know if I'd just pull the trigger on that. But, if some team offers you a 5th, they get desperate. Maybe the Chargers, this Joe Alt thing, they need somebody. Like, okay, like I'd consider that. But the Bears got to figure out first who their starting tackles are. And I don't think as of filming this, they have that answer. All right, more mailbag questions to come, but I do want to show some love to today's sponsor. That is PrizePicks. You and I make decisions every day, but on PrizePicks, being right can get you paid. Don't miss any of the excitement this season on PrizePicks, where it's good to be right. It's great hitting your PrizePicks lineups because you win money. And I got to be honest, I've hit a few recently. I'm up like $500 right now with PrizePicks, and a lot of that is picking Bears players. So can't say I had that much success last year. So shout out Ben Johnson there. Some cool features on PrizePicks, including the fact that they offer stacks. What is stacks? It means you can pick the same player up to 3 times in the same lineup. If you want to pick more on Caleb Williams' pass yards, rush yards, and touchdowns, you can do so in the same lineup only on PrizePicks. PrizePicks lineups feature 2 or more players. You pick more or less on their stat projections, and you are good to go. I got a little 2-player lineup for this upcoming week. Simple. $20 to win 60. Dak Prescott, Daniel Jones, more on their projected passing yards. Very simple there. Nothing complicated about it. Again, you can go up to 6-player lineups if you want. Tougher to hit those, but the payout is bigger if you do. Get started today. Download the PrizePicks app. Use our code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That is code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. PrizePicks, it's good to be right. We got Evan here. Would you do a DJ for running back like De'Von Achane or Breece Hall? Well, I think DJ Moore is more valuable than Breece Hall, for sure. Breece Hall is expiring on his rookie contract, so that's number one. Now, if it's like Breece Hall and a 3rd-round pick for DJ Moore or something like that, okay, we can have that discussion. And I'm not against trading for Breece Hall, but DJ straight up for him, I think that's a loss. Achane, he's pretty explosive. I think you're getting closer there. Now, receivers have more value than running backs. Here's my question, though. Why would the Dolphins want DJ Moore back? Now, if they're projecting 4, they're probably going to get off Tyreek Hill's contract after this year or maybe even at the deadline. Okay, they could go with Waddle and DJ Moore as their duo moving forward. But, again, when we throw out these trade ideas, there is the other team to consider. Do they want to take on DJ Moore's contract if they're selling this year? I would say probably not. So unless they just have some big picture vision with DJ, I would guess that they could trade Achane, but probably not to absorb DJ Moore. Robert D., if there is a trade during the bye, would you want an edge rusher or a running back? I mean, without specifics, I don't know. Who's the edge rusher? Who's the running back? How much did you give up? Like, these are things I would have to consider. But if you're just asking me in a vacuum, probably a running back, because you're probably going to give up less. I don't want to do a big trade right now. I want to see how the next few weeks go. And I think it would also help your offense be more balanced in the short term. Clearly, you have an edge rusher issue long term, but they've also invested at that position. So I think buying low on a running back is probably something I'd rather do right now, but that could change before the deadline. Okay, if you're a diehard Bears fan, hit the subscribe button. We bring you content every single day here on Chicago Bears Now. News, rumors, preview shows, bye week changes. That episode might even already be on the channel, depending on when you're watching this mailbag. So rock and roll with us. We got you covered on a daily basis. All right, Mr. Blonde, how many blue chip players does Green Bay, Detroit, Minnesota have on their teams compared to the Bears? I mean, without just, with their rosters in front of me, I could just kind of rip quickly. Detroit, St. Brown, blue chip. Has Jamison Williams entered that? Maybe not, but he's a high red. Jahmyr Gibbs, I would say, is a blue chipper. David Montgomery, very good player as well. Probably more red. Penei Sewell, blue chip. Aiden Hutchinson, blue chip. I think both safeties, Joseph and Branch, blue chip. They got like 8 dudes. And they got a lot of red, too. Like, they have a lot of just high-level stars, like Anzalone at linebacker. Terry and Arnold, we'll see. Cullen mentioned him in my ear, but they're hoping he becomes that. Certainly a first-round pick. Taylor Decker, really good player. He's older. I wouldn't call him a blue chipper. This interior O-line looks good all of a sudden. Like, they've hit on a lot of players. Brad Holmes, I think, top 5 GM. Is that fair to say? He's pretty damn good. Green Bay, I think they have more red than blue. Obviously, you get Micah. He's a blue chipper. They have more red. They're kind of like the Bears. It's like, who were their top-end players? They've got Micah and maybe Xavier McKinney would probably be in that category. After that, it's probably a lot of red chippers. Minnesota's got some blues, though. Justin Jefferson, blue. Christian Darrisaw, blue. Trying to think who else. Grenard, he's kind of on the fringe. He might be more red. Those D-tacks are probably more red. So maybe they don't have as many as I thought, but they have a lot of red too. So, yeah, I think Detroit stands out of these 3. Like, they've got the most blue chip talent in the division. Jake Cameron, how does Ben get the run game going? Schematic changes or this offensive line run blocking needs a rework. Well, I think those tie together. I think the run blocking struggling could be a schematic issue. Maybe they got to tweak some things on how they want to do that. Is part of it the backs? Certainly that plays a role. Is it certain play calls at the wrong time? I'll give one example. They ran a toss play to Swift to the short side of the field. Like, that's probably just not the best play call, right? Like, I think Ben would acknowledge that. So I think it's a little bit of everything. They got 2 weeks to try and figure it out and at least become respectable in the run game before the post-bye week era of this season begins. Who do you guys think wins the NFC North? Things have flattened out a little bit here. Bears 2-2, Vikings 2-2, Packers 2-1-1, and then Detroit there at 3-1. My pick before the season was the Lions, and I'm not wavering off of that. After their bad loss to Green Bay in Week 1, they have been probably the most dominant team in the NFL. So unfortunately, I'm picking Detroit, but still up for grabs. All 4 teams in the mix here. So you guys let me know who you think wins the division. Hit stick 37, if Montez doesn't turn it on the rest of the year, do you think they would cut him in the offseason? I mean, it's on the table. You would hope you could find a trade even if you don't get that much back, even if you have to eat some of the money. Like, could you trade him, eat half the guarantees, and, get a 4th or 5th back? I mean, he's not a bad player, but given the contract, he is just not giving you what you need. I think the most frustrating part is, look, the sack, the pass rush production, that was inconsistent in Washington. But that's even less than what he was doing in Washington. But more so, he was a dominant edge-setting, run-defending edge in Washington. He is not that anymore. I don't know if that's impossible to get back, but that's been disappointing out of Montez Sweat. All right, last one here. DC Viper. Is Rome the best wide receiver in the league right now? Seems to be getting better each week. That's a stretch. I would say he's played like a top, you could probably say top 10, top 15 receiver for sure this year. I would say I'm confident that he's a top 20-ish receiver moving forward, with arrow pointing up, right? So like top 20, that's a wide receiver 1. Does he become a Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson type of wide receiver 1? Or is he more of like an Allen Robinson with the Bears wide receiver 1, where he's the Bears number 1 receiver, but he's more like between 16 and 25 than, 5 and 10 or something like that. So I think right now he's elevated to wide receiver 1 status, certainly for this team. But like, we need more, data and, production to say he's one of the best in the league right now. But he's certainly off to a hell of a start this year, and I got no complaints. He's dropped a couple passes, but him and Caleb got a good thing going, so hopefully that continues. All right, good stuff, good questions today. If you got more, you know where to find me, at HGramNFL, Twitter and Instagram. Got to catch up on some DMs still. I'll try to do that this week. But if you have any Bears questions and if you want to take in some more Bears content, I'm tweeting, I'm posting on Instagram every single day at HGramNFL.